Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video on this channel. My name is Marissa Romero, and today we're going to be talking about something a little bit different, switching things up, and that is actually one of my favorite topics, and that is Instagram. I actually have an expert with me today on today's video, a good friend of mine, another online marketer named Brian, and he has, done tremendous things online with Instagram, where he's literally gone from nothing, like a zero following Instagram profile, to having hundreds of thousands of followers. And so I know he's worked diligently on, cracking the code and algorithm for Instagram. So I'm gonna go ahead and hand off this video to him so he can go over what it takes to actually get 1,000 followers per day on Instagram. Yes, I know it's a bold statement, but I've seen him do it and it is absolutely true. I've been getting advice from Brian for a while, and my following has actually grown quite a bit. I'm almost at 20,000 followers. His advice has really helped me. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and hand it off to Brian right after this intro so you guys enjoy the video.
What is going on, everyone? So today I'm gonna tell you how you can gain 1,000 followers a day on Instagram. Yes, it is possible, and yes, you can do this. I personally have grown a page from absolutely nothing just a few months ago to now reaching upwards of 100,000 followers, and I'll put some screenshots of some of my best days where I was gaining thousands, if not over 2,000 plus followers a day. And today I'm going to tell you exactly my insights and how you can actually go about and achieve this yourself. So if you want to learn exactly how, make sure you watch the video all the way to the very end. So before I reveal the juicy secrets on how you can gain thousands of followers a day, I want to make sure everyone is on the same page. So I'm going to start from the beginning in case people who are watching this, they're fairly new to Instagram or they just do it for fun. And I'm going to explain the Instagram algorithm. So in short, the algorithm is what you want to know first before you go out there and try to gain lots of followers. Because if you don't understand this, it's going to be very difficult for you to grow your page. Now, how does the algorithm work? Well, the short and simple answer is engagement. So that means how many likes are you getting on your post, how many comments, how many views. There's also new factors such as how many shares, how many people are sharing your post. Also, saved is another thing to keep in mind. So as long as you can get as much of these as possible onto your post, you will end up going viral, meaning you'll get a bunch of views, or if you have a photo, you'll get a bunch of likes. And in turn, you'll end up on the Magical Explorer page, this is how people gain thousands of followers a day. But in turn, right now, I'm just going to make sure you understand the basics of the algorithm, and then we can move on to the next step. So basically, get as much engagement as you possibly can, and that's how you end up going viral or getting shared by tons of people. Now, you're probably wondering, how do I get a bunch of engagement? Well, let me go into that later. Let's go back and actually explain really quick the essentials first. So first off, you have to understand are you a personal page or are you a niche page? So personal meaning there's pictures of yourself, it's your lifestyle, that's pretty much who you are. Now a niche page can be something like travel only content, nature, animals, dogs, cats, food, fashion. You guys get the point. Now that is a niche style page, and I'm gonna be upfront niche style pages are a lot easier to grow and get the 1,000 followers a day mark. However, if you're a personal page, it's going to be a lot difficult, but it's extremely doable. It just has a different route going out there, which I'm going to explain both methods in this video. So let's assume you guys already have the basic down. So I'm just going to go down a little checklist to make sure you already have this, because if you already have an Instagram account, you pretty much have this. But if you're planning on making a new one, I just want to go over these topics first. So make sure first off you have your good profile picture. So if you are an influencer or your personal page, it's of your face, it's of your brand, or if you have a logo. And if your niche style page you have your own profile picture there. So you have the profile pictures one. Next is you have to have a good bio. So that means it describes what your page is about, what you do, and then any additional links or stuff you want to include in there. Next is you want to have at least 9 posts, okay? Why I say 9 is because if somebody lands on your page and it does not matter what they have on there, if you have like 2 pictures, they'll be confused, they're not gonna want to actually follow you. So have at least 9 posts. People can see what you have as far as your content. Highly recommend you have a lot more than 9, but that's just starting off as a base. And then after that is have a actual name to your Instagram that makes sense. So if you're a personal brand or it's just you, typically would have your name or some sort of nickname that you come up with. And if you're in niche style pages, it would fit in the niche that you're in. Don't go out there and make like your name underscore dot dot 12579. That's very difficult for people to type in your name to search, and it's going to be hindering the success as far as how many followers you're getting. So let's make sure you have all those basics checked in, and now we get into the fun stuff on how to actually get more engagement and gain thousands of followers. So first thing I want to make sure you understand is to get your first 1,000 followers in one day is it takes time, it takes patience, and it takes consistency, all right? This isn't some magical post that you can go out there and do tomorrow. It is something that you build up over time, and it's kind of a momentum effect. So like the avalanche effect where you do it daily, you're getting a couple followers here and there, then all of a sudden one of your posts hits, and that's when you go off, and then boom, you get the 1,000+ followers a day, and then eventually it will momentum until it dies off, and then you rinse and repeat. And that's typically how the growth of most Instagram pages go out there who are doing some of the methods I'm going to mention right now. Now, let's separate this into the personal section first, because most of you, if you're watching this, you might just have your personal Instagram page. You're not really interested in making a niche stock specific page. And then I'm going to transition to the niche stock methods after the personal ones. So let's start off with the personal page, all right? First off is your content has to be good, all right? You have to go out there and find influencers that you're actually following that replicate the same content as you, because if your content is not good, it's gonna be very, very difficult for you to gain 1,000 followers a day. You have to ask yourself, why would 1,000 people want to follow my post on Instagram? If you can answer it and be like, okay, I spend hours a day editing, I spend hours a day going out taking these amazing pictures, then yes, it would make sense for you. But if you're just posting a simple Starbucks coffee, a picture of your cooking, or something basic, it's going to be very, very difficult for you to gain 1,000 followers in one day. So to keep that in mind, you can get a couple hundred here and there, but if you're trying to go to the top and gain thousands every time, your content has to match what the marketplace wants, meaning what do people react to, what they like to share. So that's first thing is make sure your content is good. So how to go out there and do this is find people with at least 100,000 followers that you like, that you want to portray your Instagram as, and go out there and try to replicate the same style of it. They like to take pictures under a certain setting with a different filter. Try to do that yourself. If they take pictures doing something like, in the kitchen, at home, in a car, etc., at the beach, try to replicate exactly what they're doing. And then you can go out there and test this and build up your own portfolio. And at that point, you can get a feel of what people react to on your personal page. And then you can see why people are reacting to that on these famous pages out there. Because again, the ones who are doing this with hundreds of thousands of followers, they post daily, they do this for a living. They know what people like to see, and that's something you want to go out there and replicate. So once you understand what type of content to post, then we can move on to the more advanced stuff. Now, next thing is to get engagement. So let's say you have the amazing post, or you're working on getting that and you finally figured it out. You're probably like, yo, how do I get engagement on my post now? I don't have that many followers yet. Well, the first thing I would recommend you do is simply send DMs to other people trying to do the same thing as you. So you would have to understand what type of content you're posting first off, and then find other influencers or other pages out there with a very similar following number as you. So if you have 1,000 followers, go message people with 1,000, 1,500, 2,000. If you have 10,000, message people with 10,000, 15,000. If you have 100, message 100, 200 following people. And then all you need to do is form a group chat on Instagram and say, let's form an engagement group. They're so-called DM or engagement groups, and you form this within the actual application on Instagram. And it's just like a simple group chat text, something like if you ever had friends that have a group text message, it's literally the same exact thing on Instagram. However, the way this works is whenever you decide to post a new picture or video, you would send this to your group chat, and then everyone in the group chat would engage, they would like, they would comment, and this in turn tells Instagram, wow, this post must be better than the normal post because it's getting so much likes and comments and engagement. They're going to rank this and show it to more people, and you can potentially end up on an explore page. Now, this is a stepping stone that you have to do when you're starting off with very little following. Now, once you have built up a network, you have a bunch of groups of these people, make sure the thing is that they are people that you're actually engaging with. I would recommend that you follow each other, because I know a lot of people try to game the system where they have like hundreds of these groups, yet no one's following them. And Instagram's probably like, yo, why are these random pages, hundreds of them, always liking these pictures or pictures or videos from this person, yet they're never following them? So that's one thing to keep in mind is as the algorithm is updating, you pretty much want to have everyone that you're in the group with follow, so that your chances of them actually considering it as a thoughtful engagement to be better than just some random person, stranger, liking your thing, making it look inauthentic. So make sure that is the key. And also I would recommend is try to make your engagement look organic as possible. So again, that's why you have to follow people in these groups that you form with, build a connection, build a little group with you guys, so that whenever you decide to post, then Instagram will be like, okay, wow, this post is doing really well, let's share it to more people. So Once you have your content in check, now you have the engagement groups, you have those check-in point. Next thing is to go out there and network. So this is the key. If you are a personal page, this is the #1 way that I found that people who go from literally nothing to upwards of thousands of followers every single day for the next couple weeks is because they are networking with the right pages. So figure out what is your best content. Make something that you saw, or let's say you find someone that their post went viral. You're following a favorite Instagram page and one of their posts went viral. You're like, oh, I can do this. Let me go make this content myself. So you replicate it, you make it very similar to theirs. And next thing you want to do is find big pages that are niche style. So this is where the niche pages come into check. And you find pages, let's say for instance, you're a travel influencer. You post pictures of you just traveling, hanging out, having some fun around cool places in the world. Next thing you want to do is find a travel influencer personal page that has very viral content that's always being shared on these big travel niche pages. And you want to figure out why are they sharing this post. And then now what you want to do is replicate that and create that own content for yourself. So now you have your very own piece you created yourself that could fit onto these viral travel pages. Next thing you do is find 10, 20, 30 of these travel niche pages and just simply DM this video or picture that you created and say, hey, I really love your content. I see you post amazing travel pictures. Would you mind sharing my photo or video? And then they're most likely going to say yes if it fits their content. Now, if it doesn't fit their content, they might ask you to pay. And then again, you can pay, a couple of dollars. But the main point of this is to get shares. All right. So this is where the momentum comes in. This is where you can gain your 1,000 followers as a personal influencer. Now, or a personal page or someone doing it as a hobby. So what happens is, let's say a page with 100K followers that posts only travel photos for their content, right? And all of a sudden, this person is influencer. She or he has maybe what, 500 to 1,000 followers, makes this amazing video that would fit onto their page. One of them, the 100K travel pages, shares your 500, 1,000 follower influencer page's content. Now you're going on their page, right? So you're being seen by 100,000 followers, okay, potentially. Now this is where it kicks in, okay? Let's say the person who shared your post has 100,000 followers. Their post goes viral, gets, a couple 100,000 views, if not even more. Now this is where it actually gets to the point where you can start getting 1,000. Now, what you don't know is I personally have my network, and every person in the same niche as me, we are all interconnected. We all share the same content as everyone else. Whatever goes viral, guess what? We're gonna share this because it's gonna get us more views and more followers as a niche style page. So when a niche page with 100K followers we see that we're following shares some random person's video that we've never seen before and it goes viral, does really well, guess what? We're gonna go and share that video on our page. So now this 500 following page just got their video shared by a 100K follower, and now their friend B, so A and B, now we're on to B now, page 100K followers, shares the same page from the first original 100K followers. Now you have 200K following potential seeing your post, and this is a chain effect. So now the first 100K follower shares your post. Someone else with 100K following sees your post, they share it. Now the next person sees that, and then a chain effect happens to where all these other pages with 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, 200,000 plus start sharing your video or picture onto their profile because they saw that it went really well on the first person profile. And this in turn is how you started going viral and getting thousands of followers. And if you don't believe me, I saw some person out there. This guy was a dancer and he did a moonwalk across a little open area where people were eating in Paris. It already had a couple 100,000 followers, but he literally went from 400,000 followers to 1.6 million less than a week because The Rock shared one of his pictures, or his video. So keep that in mind. That's the whole overall concept. That's the main goal, is going super viral that way. But this is more on the micro scale. So essentially is you want to get featured on a big page that fits your content. And then all of their friends, their network will share your content, which in turn gets you the momentum. So what happens is once you get this video being shared by a bunch of people or picture, guess what? Now you have an initial growth, and all you need to do now is fulfill that growth by posting more content there. So the main thing, again, after you do have the momentum, you're getting a couple hundred followers here and there, and then eventually you get shared by a bunch more followers. You have to be consistent, okay? That's another key factor. If you're not consistent, if you're posting once or twice a month, you're not gonna gain 1,000 followers a day. It's very, very difficult unless you pay some big pages with millions of followers, tons of money. So keep that in mind. But overall is your main goal is to create content that can fit on these bigger pages so that they can share it for you, and then their friends will share it for them, and then boom, that is how it goes all back, channels back to you. So profile A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, A to whatever number it goes to shares your one post. that could literally change your life and make your profile go from a couple hundred followers to thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, and potentially even more depending on your content. So that's the main way for personal influence out there, and that is probably the easiest way I would recommend you go out there and do it. Now, the alternative is when they share your content is you just straight up pay them to share it. Even if it's not the most fitting or they ask you, you're gonna have to pay to play, and that's the easiest way to do it the fast way instead of asking them for free and trying to do something like that. But the main way for personal pages to gain your 1,000+ followers a day is to basically be shared, and you can pay for it or you can go out there and DM people for free and see what happens. Now let's move on to the niche style pages. Now I know this is a lot to take in, but in short, I'm telling you right now, this is the easiest way to do that. There's no really other way to do that besides going out and getting a post to go viral by yourself, which again, if you're just a couple thousand followers, it's very, very difficult to do. But let's go into the niche style pages. Now, niche style pages, if you're not familiar, they share other people's content. Now, the thing is you want to go out and find other niche pages with a lot of following and figure out what are their most viral posts. And then you want to simply go and reshare their posts as well. The thing is, the only difference with a personal and niche style page is the groups, the engagement groups that you form are other niche style pages. When you're a personal page, you form it with people that are personal pages. Now, if you form it with a niche style page, that might work here and there, but typically they don't really follow that many personal accounts. So again, you just want to stick to your lane and figure out where you're at. Now, niche style pages is got your engagement groups up, you got the content that you're finding from big pages you're sharing on there, and then all you need to do is figure out what content went viral on their page and try to go and post it to your page. Now, it's going to take some time to figure out. It's like a hit or miss. It's not going to happen every single time, but all you need to do is get one post to go viral, because once you have one post to go viral, the thing is with niche pages is that they can post daily, okay? Personal pages is very difficult to, unless you're a photographer or videographer that uses for a living, but if you're just doing it for fun, you can't really post every single day. But for niche style pages, you're just sharing other people's content. Guess what? You can post every single day, if not 2 to 3 times more per day. Now, what you need to do is you get one post to go viral. So you get your engagement groups up, you start building up your network initially until you start to get the momentum coming. And then once you get one post to go mini viral or even semi-viral, you continue to fuel that by posting even more viral content. So what happens is, if one video you get goes viral, it gets 100,000 views from all your engagement groups, all the DMing that you did, all the networking to get it to boost up to the algorithm. Next thing is the next post that you share is going to get a boost because the one video is getting hundreds of thousands of views, is going to be over and transition and flow over to the next post, and then the next post is going to get even more views, and then all the posts that after the first viral post is going to get, they're all going to start ranking, and in turn this is how you can gain the 1,000 followers first, and then it comes over and over and over and repeats 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 because your first post pushed it all the other future posts to the Explore page. And that's the simplest way to explain it. Aside that, it's very difficult to grow 1,000 followers a day without getting the momentum and the viral content up there. So overall, just to summarize it up, if you're a personal page, is to post content that would fit a page that has a lot of following and get shared by them so that their network will share you. And if you're a niche style page, is to get your engagement groups up, build up your network heavily, and also post viral content daily so that whenever you start to get the momentum effect, you get one video to hit, then the other future videos will continue to go off until it dies off. And that's pretty much how you can gain 1,000 followers plus a day. And that's personally how I did it myself. So this ends it off here, and I'll leave it back off to Marissa.
Wow, Brian, that was absolutely phenomenal. Thank you so much for really taking the time to break everything down and, you know, talk about all the steps that people need, even if they're a beginner. You know, what you need to know, for example, on how to get engagement, whether to pick a niche specific Instagram or to grow a personal brand. Those were all excellent tips. And if you guys want to learn more or engage with Brian himself, I'll leave the links to his social media channels in my description, so go ahead and check him out. And of course, I will leave the link to the tool that I use to grow my own personal Instagram, so go ahead and look out for that link as well. All of it will be in the description. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed that thorough overview of how to grow an Instagram following and get up to 1,000 followers per day. All right, so if you guys did, please leave a comment below, and I know Brian will be commenting back with all of your guys' questions, so be sure to ask him questions as well. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys on the next video. Take care, everybody.